Yeah, there are a lot of new redeems. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. How you doing? You know, just another day in paradise here. I've been out sick, and you know, I decided I was gonna work on some stuff, and here we are. How could you? How you doing? Oh, that is fantastic, 21. I am glad to hear that. Scammers are a blight on this earth, and we need to waste as much of their time as possible, including reporting them when we can. But yeah, I got myself a new model, and by got myself, I mean I made myself a new model. It's a silly little model, but yeah, I can do all different kinds of stuff with it too. Give me just a second here. I have to remember how I set up all of my hotkeys. Let me see here. Hello. Hi. But yeah, I even got like, if I can ever find where I put everything, yeah, it's all immersive. And thank you for the hydrate. I appreciate it. I have Dr. Perky today, which is like Dr. Pepper, but it's generic. Playing Jedi Survival being an absolute menace. I believe that. And yes, GameDuck. So y'all will probably notice, I got a bunch of new redeems here for this model specifically. I will be able to toggle between the two models, mind you. This is just a silly little thing that I decided to do, you know. But I got different kinds of like skins basically for this model that I made. The asset actually, the actual like body of this, I actually have as a free asset on my Ko-Fi for y'all in here who may stream or make content in general. Because you can use it for things other than streaming. Like you could literally use, because the window here is actually transparent, you know? I just put my model here so it would actually, you know, look like a handheld, you know? But, yeah, I got that up on my Ko-Fi. You can change the color scheme if you like. Like if I turn off the VFX here, I could go from like a Raichu kind of color scheme to, hold on, let me actually just kind of zoom out a bit so y'all can see me a little better. Yeah. I got like, I'm gonna do like Ekans, like the purple and the yellow. Do like a little wood theme. Got cyan and white. Have kind of like a Sonic. Also have like a pink and, you know, yellow and blue one, like Kirby. Yes, the GameDuck. Immediately starts pushing all of the buttons. Exactly. That is exactly what we do. We got like, you know, the red and blue Mario with the white. And we even have like a Luigi kind of, you know, color scheme. So yeah. Also, which I think I'll go ahead and go back to Raichu for now. I don't, although I can set up sliders to make like an all black one, like, you know, dark gray. I can in fact do that. But these are just the presets that I have set up. The buttons in a nice deep red, you can absolutely set that up. You can indeed. Let me see. I have my windows all kind of jank. Give me just a moment to fix them. I realize I think that's, there we go. Spotify. Spotify was kind of weirdly aligned. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of go over here, right? I can turn off the text here. So now it's just me. And now we have a just chatting scene, technically. Like I said earlier, for some reason, autocorrect wanted to place the D with an F. Yeah. Yeah, I could see what you mean there. Which, technically speaking, I can actually put whatever I want for, like, the text. If you'll notice, I actually may have, placed a, 100,000 channel point redeem in my redeems here. So if you are a streamer, or you just want like a silly little, you know, model to mess around with, which you could actually technically stream in Discord too, by the way. I do have a redeem that you could have me make one for you. So, yeah. Since I GameDuck, it wanted to say game user was kicked from channel. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, though, making this whole thing, because I was like, how can I do something a little different with, live 2D that I haven't really seen done? And I've seen pixel models done, yes. But I've never really seen, like, I've never seen, and I've also seen really good starting soon screens, but I've never seen, like, the two of them, like, mixed. Like, I never saw a starting soon screen that was also, like, a model. So I thought I would, you know, try out that idea, and I thought it was a silly little thing. But I do also have another thing I wanted to, show y'all, and it's a silly little thing, but I think it'll be fun. And I think it's gonna be the basis around what I'm mostly gonna be doing today for streaming, you know, is my chill little comeback stream. And that is, I'm gonna make a new toggle for this. We're gonna make cat duck a thing. I'm gonna make ears, and then I'm going to attach them in live 2D. So let's take a quick look here. Here's the button. Woo! Okay. Now I need to just readjust myself so I can actually draw. Because the mic is a little bit in the way. Nice, keep the husky away, though she might chew the ears off. No! So here is the other thing that I thought was, you know, really cool that I set up that I wanted to kind of show you guys. Oh, there is a wild Arbok in chat. You could try to catch it using exclamation point Pokecatch. And for funsies, I'm gonna give myself Ekans colors. Cause there's an Arbok in chat. Okay. So I'm gonna make myself a... Actually, I'm just gonna open up the old file. That way it's easier. Gonna go to this one. Okay, so this was the original PSD, I want to say. Yeah, because I had to resize stuff, but I want to make sure... Yeah, I'll just stick with this, and then I'll just copy paste the layers over, I think. So this is the original file. Something is on the GameDuck. Yeah, now you guys can you can watch me looking at the thing that I'm looking at. So yeah, you could see all the little things here. I think what I'm gonna do, because I also want to make it easier for like actually seeing the positioning. I'm gonna go over to my sketch file here, which has a much higher resolution, but it's the same size. And I'm going to just kind of use it as a reference. Okay. Yes, yes, if I do look half asleep, please wake me up. So this is kind of how I, no, not tenderizing lunch. That's not how this works. This is how I did the pixel art, because I am not a pixel artist, okay? I found my own weird little way. And basically what I do is I make the sketch in a bigger canvas. I'm gonna give it a little bit of personality, you know. Give it a little bit of pointy. I'm gonna kind of come up here like this. Yeah, I think that's probably a good ear. Would you say that, chat? No, not roast duck. We are talking about cat ducks today. Cat ducks, chat. Cat ducks. Okay. I think that's a pretty good ear sketch. Would you say, chat? Yeah, I think that's a pretty good ear sketch. So I'm gonna copy. First I'm gonna save, but I'm gonna copy that over here. So now we can see what it actually looks like. Okay, I'm gonna have to change this a little bit. Because I can see it does not entirely line up with the actual pixel art. So, but at least I have the actual shape of it, so I can properly, you know. Cat ears, sketch. Yeah, I'm gonna actually, well, what I was gonna do, because it's gonna be really hard to really like distinguish between like the goggles and the hair and the ears. We have to keep it a little bit lower detail because, you know, of the particular constraints we're working with here. And I figured out last night when I was thinking about this what the best solution would be that the ears were there the entire time. And when swapping between the ears and the goggles come up and the ears flip up from underneath. So it'll be like popping up, right? So it'll replace the goggles in the position, but it's like they were there before. Oh my. It's funny you say that, Link, because when I showed this to Otaku Dan originally, I'm gonna call him out here, he was like, I don't like that. It looks kind of like the Splatoon hair like the Splatoon like squid arms. And I was like, listen, man, I'm not a pixel artist. This is just what I came up with, okay? Oh. So, sorry there, I had to clear my throat because I had spicy chicken patties for breakfast, and the spice is a little bit back in my throat. I mean, it's not like as like spicy, it's just because there's a mild heat, it kind of like, you know, cleared up some stuff. Just as long as it stays under control, don't need any fan service anime moments. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, we are going to transform. Because now we're just trying to get this into position where we want it to be. That's looking a little bit more like fox ear versus cat ear. There we go. Okay. I think kind of like this. And then I'm gonna use a mesh transform to get it just into spot where I want it. Yes, Live 2D has infected my life, chat. I now treat art like Live 2D. I use these freaking mesh deformers for this. Yeah, I'm making it a little bit smaller. But your character is either in pain the whole time or is visually unappealing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just needed to get the general shape. And then from there, I can actually do the line art and stuff. Because then that'll come down here. I think that's about right for the sketch, I'd say. Now we have our guidelines. I don't know what I'm doing with my live chat. I'm making a cat duck. And this is my color swatch palette. Okay. Let's see. For the line art, I'm gonna want this color. I'm gonna come up here to our dot pen. We're gonna make a brand new layer here. And we only really need one ear because we're just gonna flip it over, you know. If I want it for like the base like file, I can do it, but I'm probably just gonna do it in Live 2D. Well, let's see here. So we are gonna do cat ear. Alright, time to zoom on in. We're also going to turn on the grid view. And now we can see it actually broken up into pixel form. So chat, if you want to do pixel art and you use Clip Studio, all you gotta do is you just go up to the view and you go, I don't think you can see it right now, but you just go to the grid and then grid ruler bar settings and you just make the separation at 1 pixel. It's really that easy. Although I think this is the upscaled version. I think this is the upscaled version of my file. And that's not good if it is. Or it might not be. It might actually not be. I'm gonna find out here in a moment. Okay, it is not. That is good. I felt like... Oh, I see. I see. I'm gonna just adjust this really quick. There we go. There we go. This is better. This is much better, chat. I can't just walk onto the set of the view. Yeah, so now I can actually see. Here we go. So first we're gonna start with the lines, so. Better yet. I also realized I'm going to need to hide some of the underneath duck. Here we go. There we go. That's better. Yes, we can see now. And this is not necessarily the best way to go about doing this, chat, but this is how I'm doing it right now. Whenever I'm doing this, I try to find kind of a pattern so it looks a little better. Like it slowly starts to step over. I was also thinking I might want to draw some redeems, like a water bottle to throw at me, because I've been meaning to do it. I've been meaning to do that. I already have a train that can run me over, but I don't. Although I did not draw the train, it is a stock image, but I need a water bottle for the hydrate. That's what I gotta do. Thinking maybe there might be. I'm gonna quickly erase. Oh no. I think I might just stick with the dot pen and just erase this. I'm gonna kind of go back a bit and try to maybe start a little sooner on the arc. Because if the arc doesn't go quite right, it looks weird. I'm wondering if this will work. I don't think it will, chat. We're gonna have to try this again. This is pretty much the process I went through when I was figuring out how to do... Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I'll go to about there. And I have an idea. Chat. There we go. I just moved it down a little. There we go. And now we have a better arc. That is much better. And now we can have kind of like a corner. I don't always like having those corners, but now I'm gonna zoom out, see how that line is looking. Okay, that line is not looking too bad. An idea. You have an idea. And this part's pretty easy, I think. Ah! Did not want to do that. A little bit too much, I think. And a little bit of like a bend up there towards the end, I think. I think I'll probably slightly curve this. There we go. It ain't perfect, but hey. It's coming along. Okay. So then the next part's gonna be these kind of fluffy lines, I think. Or I could go around the outside. I might do that part first. Feeling that's a little too much. There we go. That way it goes just a little bit behind the hair, because we have to make sure that it's covered up, because otherwise you get something that hairdressers would call a holiday, which is where there's an unintended spot that has not been covered. And we don't like that. So then we're gonna go ahead and do the other lines here. But you know what? I think I might actually just use this real quick. Let's see how good this will do. I think I might go with this for the fluff. Make my life a little easier. And I think I'm gonna kind of clean this up a little bit. Gonna kind of do it like that. There we go. Now we got the lines done. Okay, so we can turn this sketch off. I'm thinking about it, chat. I kind of dig it. So I'll probably break this up into 3 parts. I'll make it like the front ear part, the back ear, and then the fluff in the middle. That way I can move them individually. I could be lazy though, and leave it all one piece because of how like simple it is, but I think I'll go the little extra mile here. So what I think I'm gonna do we're gonna copy this. Cat ear front. Because I could literally just put that there as like a little part that covers behind there, and then just leave this bigger part as a less molded, I guess, piece, and just move that. And move the fluff. Okay, so here I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come over here, do that. I'm gonna do that. Actually, you know what? I'm actually gonna come in here because I want to make sure. Oops. The original one here. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I want the color. I'm actually going to bring that back a little bit further. I am going to remove this from this layer too. However, I'm going to come up here. Wait. Okay, you know what? I am frustrated with these layers. Okay. I'm going to make that fully visible. Here we go. Okay, now those are gone. I can bring this back to full. I'm gonna go ahead and make that color to make it easier to see. And also make sure I don't have any extra. Okay, there's no stragglers out there. Okay. Now we're gonna do the inside fluff. this cat ear fluff. Okay. So now we have all of the lines, and they're all on their own layers. That's the front. All right, we have our base line art here. Alrighty. So we're gonna start coloring things. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're gonna be able to actually start coloring it now. And then we'll be able to animate it. Just like me over here. Speaking of which, I actually need to adjust my chibi model. There's some things that I have learned to do better since I made it. And I would like to upgrade. I'd like to upgrade the tracking. Once again. For like the 5th time now. I feel like every time I learn new things, I'm like, I have to go integrate it into my old model because I can. I will say that is the perk of being your own artist. You basically get to choose whatever the duck you want to do. You know, I decided I was gonna be a duck. An odd internet duck. So thinking about the color scheme for the ear, the inside's probably gonna be lighter. I need it to contrast with the hair. So I'm probably going to use, I think, a lighter color for the mane, possibly. And then do like the fluff a darker color. Now I know that with the actual GameDuck sticker I made, the fluff is lighter. But I think for the purposes of the Game Boy color scheme, which is very limited as you can see, chat, I literally have 4 colors, just these 4. I don't get to use any other shades because this is supposed to be accurate. Lore accurate. So I have to be very considerate of what I do. The GameDuck, for if you were unaware, is this particular emote. It is that sticker. It is literally just a GameDuck. So yeah. I'm thinking we'll do darker on the inside and then we'll do lighter on the outside. That way it keeps with the how I have the blue hair kind of really light. We'll use this color for the outside. Gonna zoom back in. And yes, we are listening to Pokemon music. It is specifically Game Chops, which is pretty safe to stream, so let's see here. I'm thinking how I want to go about this. I'm thinking, so for the model really quickly, I'm going to do that so I could see better. So this is gonna look a little weird. I think for the front, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm also going to fix the paper so I'm not getting distracted by that. Oh man, I feel like I just got woken with how bright this is. I'm feeling a different color. I'm thinking, how about wood? Yeah, we'll have a wood skin for a little bit. Okay. I'll just kind of bring this all the way up over here. Although I actually think I'll stop it a little bit early. There we go. And the reason for that, chat, is to make it a little bit less jank when I need to move it around in Live 2D. Because I'm gonna have the line up here be on the back layer. I never thought to do that before, but I'm doing it now, and it's going to make my life so much easier. I could have done that this entire time, and I never thought to do it. Okay. Carefully lining this. I never really thought of myself as a pixel artist, I'm not gonna lie. But you know, I'm not hating it. It's kind of interesting being forced to just work within the constraints of like older like color palettes, you know? Okay, so that is the front. So then I can actually just come over here, lower the opacity. Oh, good bot. Very good bot, Siri. If you are a streamer and you do not have SariBot, you need SariBot. SariBot is incredible. Fantastic bot. Keeps out, you know. Well, you see. Keeps out the bots. The bad bots. The scammers. The spammers. Let's see here. For the fluff. I'm gonna go back over here. Doing darker on the inside. I realized because of where I had that looked really weird. So we're fixing that. Going a little bit past the boundary here. Just to make sure we got enough wiggle room, you know? Oh no, I went a little bit too far. There we go. Now we'll just line this up. I also have a confession. I actually never had a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color. I had specifically, though, the Pikachu one, where the red light, like the power light, was the Pikachu cheek. And my first game on it was Pokemon Yellow. Which is actually what inspired this, this model. I was like, I thought about the starting screen for Pokemon Yellow and how it has the Pikachu pop up and it says Pika and you know the title text above it with, you know, the Game Freak below, and that's what made me come up with the idea. Inspiration come from all places, honestly. I think I'm also gonna add like a little bit of extra detail, like a little bit of a highlight, you know? Yeah. Just a very subtle highlight for the fluff. Because fluff is a little bit more matte in texture. Gonna go ahead and lower the opacity on that. And now that all that's left is the cat ear. I swear I'm not falling asleep, chat. So we're going for the overall lighter color. It's gonna be this color. Although I am gonna come back up here and use this color really quickly. Just fully extending that. Alright. This part doesn't have to be perfect because it's not going to really be seen. But it is there. Gonna go ahead and start lining this now. I don't like to use the paint bucket tool for this because it gets really tricky when you're trying to do anti-aliased like pixel art. Because you end up with more blurriness than anything if you try to just use the paint bucket. Because it blends the colors at the edges. And I am not a fan of that. So we do this the old-fashioned way. Just filling it out, pixel by pixel. Yes. Okay. Now I can just kind of scribble in the rest. I will note working with pixel art in Live 2D is a bit tricky because of the fact that you have to be very careful about how you squish and squash the pixels. I found that like it was easier for me to use like the warp deformers as a way to like grab chunks of pixels and move them, like slide them over versus like bending them. I also realized I could add like a BRB to my to my pixel model. I just thought of that. That also wouldn't be too hard to do. I would just need to make the text art for it. I think for like an extra little added touch here, I'm gonna use that as a highlight. I'm gonna kind of highlight the edges a bit up here. Kind of more of the parts that like stick out, you know? Now, if we actually put everything back to where it should be. And put that up here. Okay, so now we just need to do the front area. Because I noticed that some of the fluff shows through that. So I'm gonna do this. Yep, I absolutely missed a pixel. This is no bueno, chat. There we go. Okay. Now if I go back... I think that works, chat. So now I can go ahead and make a folder specifically for cat ear. Alright. So now we can actually bring this back up to normal opacity. Change that. And go ahead and move the ear down here. Oh no. I just realized where I put it. I did not want to put it in the goggles folder. No. Good morning. It's good to see you, Dazzle. Good morning. I have decided to transcend the VTuber realm into pixel land. I am not a pixel artist, I swear. I'll probably need to use a mask for that, just like I did with the goggles. Because the head is behind. Yeah, pixel art. I decided we're making GameDuck into a thing. We're making GameDuck a thing today. But yeah, since you weren't here earlier, hello, I made a new model for myself. It's a secret starting soon screen. And you can change around my my like the Game Boy skin here. You know, can make it all different kinds of, you know, colors. And I also have a brand new redeem You know, I kind of feel like Kirby right now. I'm feeling like the Kirby color scheme. I got some new redeems, including one for 100,000 channel points, you know, to reward any, you know, lurkers who also may stream and want to have something like this. And I could do all different kinds of things with this. I figure I'm gonna just add to it over time, but I can turn on and off the tracking at will, so I'm able to pull the, you know, camouflaged stunt on the starting screen, which, you know, as you can see, I literally have a whole thing where it puts me over here, and I can quite literally just at any moment that I decide to, there we go, chat. I am frozen in time. I am frozen in time, looking off into the distance. There we go. We're alive again. I also have a few other things I could do, which I actually haven't really gotten into yet, but you know what? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so that's the thing I could do too. I could just, you know, have an existential crisis on stream. I'm glad you think it's cool. I'm pretty pleased with some of the stuff I could do. But I can also do other things too. Like I can do like a quick zoom in, for example. Or I can go back to normal. I want to do some more like other fun meta stuff with this. This is what I've been wanting to do for a while. I just have not had the time to. Because I think it's cool to do different things that other people aren't doing. Also, I should probably take off my starting soon text. Gotta find my hotkeys. There we go. I could never figure that out with the zoom. Well, it's actually not too hard. There's two different ways you could do it, right? Because you could do it also like this. However, that's not always what you want to do, right? So the other way, you have to use an OBS filter. And from there, you just slap it on a hotkey, and that's pretty much it. Also, I'm a little bit hungry, so I think I'm gonna grab a cookie. I told Otaku Dan TV when I was lurking in his stream for a bit. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. Last week was a blur because he streamed every single day, and I'm his mod. So while the ads are running here, I'm just gonna take a quick break to eat a cookie. I told him while I was in there, I found 40 cookies for $9 from the bakery, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy that. I'm gonna enjoy that very much. So now I'm gonna eat a cookie. Yes, it is. Sorry. I was trying not to chew into the mic. But absolutely cheap as heck. I am not going to deny a cookie. Especially not at that price. Oh, there's my bot. There's my bot right there. Indeed, if you like this kind of Game Boy inspired overlay thing I got going on for my Pixel model, you're definitely welcome to pick it up for free. I made it specifically for other people to use, but then I realized I could use it with my asset I made. I was like, you know what? Duck it. I'm gonna use it with my new model. I originally was gonna make like a separate overlay, right? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna use the thing I made. And I'm gonna turn it into part of the stream. It'll be a great way to show other people where they can get it. I get one more drink and then I'm gonna get back to drawing here. Ooh. I do need to make sure because I did note that this was a different file. Okay. So this works. This absolutely works. So then when the goggles are gone, it's gonna look like that, chat. Yeah. I think that's probably what we're gonna do. We're gonna have it like that. So now we're gonna save this, and then we're going to upscale this. I just need to remember what I put, like how much I upscaled this. I think I did times 10, I wanna say. I'm gonna check really quickly. I'm going to open the upscaled one to find out. Yeah, I did times 10. Because you have to upscale it when you're using it in live 2D, because otherwise it ends up blurry. And I found that out the hard way. So I have to now upscale it so it keeps the blockiness intact. So we are going to overwrite this now. Save as. Well, first of all, we're gonna go over here, change canvas resolution. Scale, we're going to do. Well, first we're gonna do. I need to actually check. I know I just literally closed it. I did this at still 72 DPI. Huh. I guess I didn't change the DPI. I thought I did. So I guess I'm just gonna do change image resolution, do times 10. Okay. Okay. And now we can put everything back to normal. We can hide the colors now. And now I need to save this as the upscaled model. Okay, let's remove that. It does not want to save right now. Wrong one. Save as. Upscaled. Yes. Because I don't want to mix the two files, so it's easier for me to go back and just add new assets. Like, if I want to add, like, a new toggle, I want to be able to do that, you know? It just makes it easier if I can go back to the original file. Although you can import at any time if you want to. Pretty much just about anything. It's what got a certain rigging artist in trouble in recent months. I won't really talk about that, but if you're gonna distribute your CMO3 file, you gotta make sure that you don't have anything in there that belongs to someone else. The CMO3 file, by the way, is the file that you use in order to basically rig the model, make it move, do all that fun stuff. So I like to be able to just swap in and out stuff if I want to update when I'm doing my own stuff, but if you were to release that for other people, you'd have to remove that or put in like a base placeholder, which is kind of why I thought I would actually develop my own like template for this. So effectively I can kind of just swap out anything as long as I just use those files, the two files that I've shown you already. I have the original file, which is the original resolution and aspect ratio, and then the upscaled one, which I use to actually rig. And I have to upscale it before I can rig it. Okay. So now that it's been upscaled, it is time, chat. It is time to move into Live 2D. Also, I realized I've still been in just chatting this entire time and nobody has told me. I need to fix that. We're going to go over to art. Because I realize I should probably be doing that. Yeah. Because we are no longer just chatting. I also really like the fact that I literally can have a hologram of whatever it is I'm doing down here. It was a nice little touch. I feel I feel like my model is so much more squashed than the PSD file here. Oh, there's a wild timber in chat. You could try to catch it using !PokeCatch. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head over to Live 2D, I think. Wrong folder. Live 2D application. Oh boy. Okay, we can go ahead and close out our Flip Studio. We don't need you. We just need to open up the Pixel model. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go ahead and open. Over here. I have way too many ducking folders. And I need to organize them all. Good bot, Siri. Good bot. Going to combine this. We're going to replace the upscale. Yes. Indeed. Okay. So we can get rid of the cat ear sketch. Get rid of that. I also forgot to move the cat ear out of the goggles. Oh well. So we are going to go ahead and move this down here. Oh man. Let's undo that. Things get a little bit mixed up when you're, you know, doing so many re-importings of the art. I'm gonna quickly just pull that out so I can get rid of these empty folders. Okay, let's see here. Where is... Okay, yeah, that's why it went missing, is because I went to the wrong folder. Because I have not cleaned up this file yet, can you tell? So, I'm gonna go ahead quickly, just, very quickly meshing this automatically because I'm lazy. Is this the most efficient way? No. Well, it might be. I don't know. I might be good at live 2D now, but I am not yet technically an expert. Especially because I know I still have to go back in a lot of the time to fix some of the weirdness that happens. Like, for example, here, where it's like, let's just cut into the actual art mesh instead of, you know, doing this properly. So this is a lesson, by the way, to, live 2D users, is that make sure if you're using the auto mesh for everything, like I do, just make sure that it's not cutting off any of your art, because that happens. It really does happen. It would probably be better to actually physically go in here and painstakingly do the stuff, but this is my model. This is not anyone else's. So I'm not doing that for mine. I will actually manually mesh for other people. But I'm way too lazy for my own. I'm way too lazy for my own. That is true. That's actually the reason why I like doing models for other people, is because if it's for someone else, I can justify the process, right? I can't justify it if it's for myself. Like, no, I shouldn't be spending that much time on myself. I should be spending it on other people. And I know it sounds stupid. It sounds real dumb. But that's why I do stuff for other people. It's just so much easier for me to justify it. Sorry if I bumped the mic. It's so much easier to justify it if it's for someone else, right? I don't know what it is about being an artist, where it's like, yeah, no, I don't deserve top quality, but everyone else does. I just try to mostly line it up when I'm doing my own. Is why my my chibi eye open and close animation is so jank. This is because I was like, nah, I don't need a real eye-opening animation. I actually put more effort into this model as far as the eye opening and closing, but that was because of the fact it was pixels, and I was like, how the duck do I... How do pixel eyes, how do I do this thing that I have decided to do on a whim with no experience? I'll wing it. I'm a duck, I'll wing it. Just making sure nothing is clipped off because of how Live 2D likes to do the auto mesh. I do try to mostly line it up when I'm adjusting it, so it at least looks like pixel art and not a mangled, garbled mess. I don't know if you ever experienced that, Dazzle, where it's like, I just will do the best work that I possibly could do for everyone else. And then, you know, slack if it's just for personal pleasure. I don't know, maybe it's because of the way I feel about art. Art is just kind of a hobby for me. More than it is like, you know, work. And it is worth noting, you don't have to necessarily be super accurate with your meshes in Live 2D. It just helps. It just helps. Right now I'm basically just kind of making it less jank, as I have some pieces that are bitten off. I feel like that is kind of an excessive. There we go. No, I didn't want to do that. How about this? There we go. Now I want to say that this should be fixed. I don't think I have any more of the weirdness going around here. Okay. I think that particular piece is good. Okay, next piece to make sure that it's not completely and totally butchered. Gonna come over here to the cat ear fluff. Let's just make sure, yep, as expected. As expected. Just as I thought. Does not have to be perfect, but it does need to be better. Yeah. Yeah, one of these days I will actually get in here and I will just freaking line this properly. Like when I'm actually doing one for someone else. Because that will actually require a bit more effort. To make it look good. another one that got clipped. Straightening out some corners. Because you kind of want the mesh to go in line with what you have, which is why manual meshing is a thing. However, when you want to quickly add something, okay, we're gonna save this. Okay. Gonna get out of the solo. We're gonna go to the cat ear front. Make sure that that one is also fine. Because I found that pretty much with all of these pixel art layers, I've had to fix stuff. The meshing does not work as well. Manual, or the auto meshing, I should say. Manual meshing is the way to go. Okay, we almost got most of this, I think. Because see, this is what happens when you auto mesh and it doesn't get all of the art into the mesh. It does this. And this is no bueno. Let's see. Here we go. We don't even technically... Oh. Yeah, we can just... There we go. Now the mesh is no longer open. Here we go. Yeah. There is a wild spupa in chat. You can try to catch it using exclamation point poke catch. I'm gonna go ahead and add an extra. There we go. Alrighty. Not the cleanest meshing ever, but it's fine. Fine. We now have a mesh that is not weird, and I mean it is still weird, chat, but not the kind of weird that we don't like. This is how This is how a cat duck is made. Okay. So now we can go back out of the solo. I am going to put all of these into a deformer. We are going to call this ear. Right, we got our new deformer here. We're also gonna need to have some, we're gonna need a folder for this. So I'm gonna go ahead, make a new folder, and call this ear. Create parameter. I'm gonna kind of move my microphone, so I apologize if it messes with my tracking or my my audio. I can never escape from cats. No, you cannot. You will have a cat duck. Cat duck is becoming a thing. Don't ask me why I came up with this cursed idea. I decided on it one day. And I was like, let me make a random, you know, cat overlay for people who like cats and do cat things and have cats as part of their theming in their stream. And I was like, let me make this. And then I posted this to my Ko-Fi, I think. You can also get this overlay from Ko-Fi. As well as the Game Boy inspired asset. And then I made the cat duck sticker, and that's how it's been ever since. Duck pony, yep, that makes absolute sense. Ducks will rule the world. That is our ultimate goal, is world domination. That means integrating duck into every single culture and species. That is exactly it. It's a totally normal goal to have. So we are going to call this ear up. Actually gonna call this L ear up. There are never enough ducks, that is true. You know, I've actually been considering making myself like a model that can transform between the different species of duck. As you know, my base one is a mallard duck. I am a female mallard duck. You can tell because I have the blue, I don't have the green, you know. I mean, I'm green right now. Don't mind the green right now. But the female mallards have blue. They have blue in their wings. And so that's why my hair has the blue. And not the green. Wood ducks are really pretty. They have like orange and blue and white and like a bunch of really pretty colors as part of their thing. And their beaks are also really cute. Yeah. I've been looking way too much into ducks. I have a problem. Hi, I'm lucky. I'm an odd duck. I'm also autistic, so that might explain why I'm super into, you know, ducks. Well, yeah. I've been coming up with all different weird ideas. Like I was thinking, like, what if? Hear me out. What if? Live 2D VTuber like this, but Tamagotchi. Hello, Addie. It's good to see you, Addie the baddie. Very, very good to see you. How do you like my my gimmick model here that I made? I made it in the span of just a few days. In fact, you weren't here for the starting soon screen, but I could actually kind of recreate it here. Here, all I have to do is just do that, right? And, and then, right, I can at any moment just turn off my tracking. And then I'm like that. And it's a starting soon screen. And no one would ever be none the wiser. I have problems. Hello, Ollie, and welcome. Yeah, I couldn't contain it. I could not contain it. I was like, I need to release. I need to release the Kraken. The duck Kraken. And yeah. And the best part is, Addie, since I'm not sure if you saw this or not, I don't remember if you saw the Twitter post or not, but on top of like all this stuff, you know, that I have, I also have other silly little things here, like for example, yeah, so that's the thing. And also, I got a bunch of other silly stuff. I can do like a quick zoom in, right? I can also do a quick zoom out. I can also go in here, right? See, I could do this if I wanted to, but also I can change this. I can change this. You can also change it too, using the channel point rewards. Sonic themed. Like a Luigi themed. Even got like a Mario theme. And one of my favorites, right? Let me just make sure I have the right thing here, because I realize I have too many buttons. One of my favorite options, got like a wooden one, right? I even got like a Kirby one. Like, you know, the Kirby color scheme. It is free up on my Ko-Fi if you want to actually use this for like an overlay or something. You are totally welcome to. And also, now that I'm done showing off the one toggle, I'll go ahead and turn back on the music. Well, yeah. So that's a thing. Let's see what else I got. I can even add like the VFX to make it look like it's part of the lighting. I actually did that when I posted it to Twitter last night. I was like, I'm gonna bamboozle some people. But also, I can remove this text at any point, so it can be like a normal model. I can also add stuff to it as I'd like to. As an example. Doop. Over here, we're actually adding cat ears. We're gonna have GameDuck be a thing. And I'm glad you think so, Dazzle. I worked very hard for one whole day to make this, like, retro Game Boy-inspired shell. Because you could change everything on it. You can even change, like, the power light color. Like, I put a lot of heart into the things I did with it. Let me see here. Ooh. Yeah, I appreciate it. I really do. Let me see what I'm gonna do for now. I'm gonna do, I think, Kirby theme again. Yeah, do some pink. Pink good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now we are currently doing this stuff in Live 2D. We got cat ears in progress. So right now I'm making a quick set of parameters I'm going to be using for the cat ears. Because I'm doing cat ears. Fun fact, for those who are subscribed, we do in fact have a GameDuck emote. It is a thing. It is an actual thing. I made that up when I was making this overlay, which is also on my Ko-Fi, by the way. It was just a thing I decided to do, you know? Adding cat ears to a duck. That is exactly how ducks take over the world. Mm-hmm. Everything gets a duck bill. So now, I'm gonna replicate this. I'm going to edit this L ear. I'm gonna call this X1. X1. This is basically gonna be like a dragging physics thing, right? Although I actually am going to have to fix this. -10, regular 10. I realize I gotta actually, you know, edit parameter. As we're going to link this to the eyebrows. Which, speaking of which, I need to actually check what I put for my eyebrows. I think they're just 1. Let me see here. Edit parameter. Yeah, just 1. So we're gonna link the ears to the eyebrows. So they'll go up and down with the eyebrows. The way we're gonna do that is we're gonna use the same set of, like, physics and stuff. So, and we'll be attaching them in, not Live 2D, VTube Studio. Yeah, I'm glad you think it's cute. I'm very pleased with myself. But also, if you look at all the channel point redeems, because I got new redeems, if you really like this whole, like, weird meta thing that I've created, and you too want to have a pixel model, like a retro thing like this, it would only be bust up, but if you lurk long enough for 100,000 points, I actually plan to stream more regularly now because I'm doing a lot more live 2D. Then you too could also get yourself a model like this. I'll also probably add it to my, like, commissionable things when I actually open commissions, probably at the end of October. That's when I think I'll probably be ready, because I have, like, 2 models I have to do before I open. And one of them is for Otaku Dan TV, who I actually mod for. Mm-hmm. And, I'm gonna be seeing about learning VBridger the official way, so that I can add that to models as well, because I can. Also, it is worth noting though, I am a duck. I don't get to really practice mouth stuff. I know that sounds really bad. I don't mean it like that, John. I don't mean it like that. But I don't get to practice mouth raking very much. Aww. That would be really nice. I would love to, Addie, honestly. But yeah, as a duck, I only have open and close. I wouldn't even begin to fathom how I would, like, change that, because it's literally a rigid, hard piece of duck. I don't even know what the word is for it. It's like cartilage? I don't know. But yeah, I've really started to enjoy just doing live 2D stuff. It's why I came out with a model that I made in, like, I don't know, I literally spent like a day making the art. And then I spent like the same day, like an hour of it, getting like the breathing animation, which is like the little like jittery up and down that you see. And then that was only like half an hour of work, honestly. And then I spent like maybe 2 days rigging this. Question mark? I should have a question mark, like a toggle that I could put there for when I'm pondering things. Now that I'm able to just import things at will, I should just honestly make everything into live TD. Okay. I know I just yawned, but I like how the model tracks with the yawning. I kind of like how I did the eyes on this, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of jank. It's really kind of jank, but it works, and that's the important thing. So for this, I'm gonna make its own. We're gonna call this ear front, making this easy on the duck. And then we're gonna call this ear off. Now I've taken to doing these brackets with the capital because, and I know you don't see the pop-up window here. Let me see if I can actually add that into the, oh no, I can't right now. I'll add that later. But you'll notice that I use capital letters with like the brackets for the warp deformers. And hear me out. When I saw someone else doing it, I thought it was kind of silly. I was like, well, I want to know what every single deformer is. And then I was like, wait a second. I can make that as the parent and do certain things and keep the certain things that I do to the parents, and then do all the other little special little stuff underneath. And so that's kind of how I started to develop my workflow with this, is like the big deformers, as much as I could fit on them, usually if it's a simple model like this, is what I do. I love blend shapes. Blend shapes are a ducking savior. I love blend shapes because they make my life so much easier. We are going to... this one is going to be ear front. Yeah. Now we have the ear front, which is this little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead and save also while I'm at it. Because fun fact though, on my chibi model, I actually did not rig the smiling eyes. I did that on this model though, which is why I have a closed eye that looks like this. Yeah. I'm very pleased with it. It looks way too ducking cute to me. And I like when my model looks cute. Yeah, that's gonna look really cool. So what I think I'm gonna do, I should probably add like an extra folder for toggles and like expressions. Let me see our label, make that purple. I'm gonna call this toggles, because it's mostly for my information, because it will change. Like, you don't really see that in VTube Studio, you just see the actual parameters, and even then you only see the parameter IDs. Like you can see like these too, but the IDs are really helpful. Especially if you have like a bunch of different things for like customizable assets, which I had for the asset I released. Yeah, I'm glad you think it's adorable, because I like to be cute, because I'm just a silly little duck, you know? Let me see here. So for toggles, create parameter and call it cat ears. Cat. I'm just gonna call that cat ears on. And to make life easier, I'm just making it a blend shape because all it's gonna be is just a quick swap out between the goggles and the cat ears. Oh wait, I realize I totally just made two. I don't need two deformers. Why did I do that? You can tell I'm tired. You can tell I'm tired. Okay, let's change the Pokemon music from piano to just favorite Pokemon music, okay? Because too much sleepy time with the piano. There we go. I'm gonna take a quick sip. Alrighty. Whack. Which, by the way, if you guys do have any ideas for any, like, toggles and stuff for, like, the models, while it's not a guarantee that I will, you know, do it, because I do have ADHD, and, you know, I'm pretty sure you know. Well, it's not a guarantee. If I like the idea, I may actually integrate it into things because I can, because I'm an artist. And I do my own stuff for the most part. I mean, my profile picture was made by Zyrite, who is my amazing art friend, who also lives with me and makes me food a lot of the time, and I appreciate her very much. But most of the time, I'm the one doing my own art. So, any random things that you have ideas for, just let me know. I do actually have a place on my Discord for, like, suggestions, I believe. Let me actually look real quick. I have game suggestions, stream activity ideas. Yeah, like all that stuff, emote, sticker suggestions. Like I have all that stuff. All that stuff. So if you ever want to, you can always suggest on the Discord if you ever get any random ideas. Want to add stickers around it? I mean, yeah, that is something I could, you know, I was actually thinking about it, like, what about, like, star stickers, or, like, duck stickers, or some other random stickers, you know, that are silly that could be added to it. I did actually have that thought, because someone, I don't remember if it was you, or if it was someone else who mentioned it. Could be, like, an option. For now, I just have, like, the base one. I might, later on, do, like, an updated, like, 2.0 release for it. Because I might find like better ways to go about things that are a little bit more efficient, a little bit more customizable friendly too. On your own, you are able to like add other stuff, but I do think I'll probably make a 2.0 later, because I do think I'll probably dip into like the retro model stuff because it's kind of silly and cute and I love it. Like, look how the movement goes. It's just so cute. I love it. And it's not exactly like the pixel models that most people have, because I'm not a pixel modeler. But it has kind of like the same kind of like live 2D feel to it. But it just has the style of pixel. So it's just somehow cute and I don't understand it. Yeah, I like how the hair sways too. And that's the new way I figured out of doing hair physics, which I still use some of like my old techniques that I developed for the chibi model. Like I still use some of those for this one. But I have learned new ways to like add additional physics. So like my hair actually like wiggles, you know? Yeah. And you can see like the ends of my hair kind of like curl. Oh, that reminds me actually, while I'm over here, because I realize, if I go into live 2D, physics settings, preview, external application settings, turn this on. Yeah. So now, looks like I might have to fix something really quickly. Give me just a second here. So if I come back over here, because I need to fix something. Physics window is not wanting to function. There we go. We have now fixed it. Alright. So we are going to go back over here. Get back out of studio mode. Because I don't want to do things. Here we go. This is something I want to try to learn with 2D models. Well, if you ever want to learn live 2D, don't hesitate to ask if you need any help. I do know of quite a few people who make tutorials, which is how I learned a lot of the stuff I know. But yeah, you can actually now connect VTube Studio's tracking to live 2D, so you can actually test out how the model would look if it had tracking, so you don't have to constantly export if you want to see like how it would actually look. Oh yeah. So this is just a cool little thing. Right now you can see the ear does not move because we have not rigged it yet. But that is okay. Is what we're gonna do. Close that out. Get back into live 2D here. Hello! Hello, Chris! Welcome in! Well, you see? You see? Surprise! This is what I've been cooking up. So hi, hello. I made a fake starting soon screen. I'll show you the starting soon screen. Give me just a moment here. So yeah, I have a fake starting soon screen. And here's a really fun thing about it, right? Give me just a second here. I'm gonna set up the scene. I can even I can kill the tracking, and I can quite literally do a freeze frame and just blend in. I have had way too much fun with this. Yeah, I'm sorry, stream's lagging. Maybe a refresh. I have Ethernet connection and I can see my stream myself. But yeah. To you too, Pinky. I don't know if it went off or not yet. I didn't see it pop up yet, but I was also distracted. I have been a very distracted duck this morning. But yeah, I made a fake starting soon screen, which is technically a just chatting at the same time. Quite literally, I can do that if I want to. I can go back to my spot. I can move down here. I can also remove the VFX real quick. I can also change like the skin of the Game Boy here. I have a bunch of different options. As you can see. And I believe I was using the Kirby themed one when you came in. But yeah. Today I just decided I would bamboozle some people. And also at the same time, add the cat ears. Make GameDuck an actual official thing, you know? Also at any time, I can turn the text on and off on here, so it kind of scrolls down, you know? Kind of like a loading for a Game Boy, you know? But I'm very pleased, and I hope all that got to you, Chris, and I hope you're amused by the shenanigans that I have done. But also, if you look into the channel point rewards, I did actually put there for my most loyal peeps who hang out here, a reward, because I'm gonna try to stream a lot more, and also I like doing these models. They're silly, they're fun, and I figure it's a nice way to, you know, give back to the people who support me, you know? Give them a cute little gimmick model. So yeah, I just finished doing the art a little while ago for the ear. I decided on the lighter color for like the main color and the darker color for the fluff because of the trying to like balance out the colors, you know? Because the back of my hair is so dark, and then I have the dark shadow in my hair. So I figured the lighter color would fit better, you know? I also figured out a cute little, like, hologram thing. As you can see. Can't tell on because work. I appreciate it. I really do. I put a lot of work into this. I didn't know if it would work out or not because I'm not a pixel artist. I'm really not. But I think it's still fun, and I could get better at it, I'm sure. I also know that when I do someone else's model for the pixel model, I'm gonna actually properly mesh because my meshing is atrocious. I kind of wing it and speed through it because it's for me. It's not, you know, I don't have to make it perfect for me unless it's someone else's model, in which case I definitely have to make it perfect. Because that's just how I am. But let me go ahead here. I'm going to replicate this. The ear up is going to be a -1 for that. These are all going to be blend shapes. Nothing is perfect is what I say. That is true. That is true. I just try to be perfect for other people's stuff. Oh yeah. So yeah. Let me see. After I already got that part done, I'll probably also, I think, make a... Yeah, this is gonna be X2. And then replicate, edit. And then this is going to be Y. There we go. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do here, and I'm very serious, I literally only have open and closed for my mouth. Like, there's no complexity here. I don't need V-Bridger. But some people, you know, people who have like actual human lips, those people, they can have V-Bridger. I actually plan to learn V-Bridger. I'm going to be checking out the actual official tutorial stuff, and learning how to do V-Bridger, because I would like to actually offer that in my models that I do. I just had a thought though. How does V-Bridger work with pixel art? Genuinely curious. Oh man, I think someone is vacuuming upstairs. It is loud out there. Okay, on to the... Sheesh. I don't think you guys can hear it, but it's like a very loud, like, on my ceiling. I hate neighbors. I ducking hate my neighbors. That was obnoxious. I think they might be done. Very obnoxious. Okay, physics. Fun fact, when I turn my head, when I do the head turning, I don't actually put it on the actual parameter that tracks it. I use augmented physics. So it's like a slight delay in reaction, and it gives it a little bit more bounciness, a little bit more liveliness. Yeah, I live in an apartment. I live on the bottom floor, and I've had issues for the last year with noisy upstairs neighbors. Now, granted, a few months ago, the last neighbors poofed, they vanished, they disappeared. But then we had new neighbors, and these ones are almost as obnoxious, but not as obnoxious. So yeah, it's just, instead of... Cover your ears if you're not 18. Although I'm not particularly a child-friendly streamer as it is, because I do make the occasional dirty joke, but instead of loud certain kinds of acts happening above me at like 3 a.m., it's just random pacing at 3 a.m. So it's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad. It's just random other stuff happening now. Slightly less obnoxious. I don't think I'm going to be able to focus. I am trying my hardest, but there's just way too much noise happening out there. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and see who's on, who's doing art stuff. Let me see. Oh. Looks like we actually do got a live 2D rigging artist who's on right now, so we can actually go ahead and raid over there. I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quickly. Yeah, it's good seeing you guys. And again, I apologize for all the random loud stuff that's just completely and totally, utterly distracting me. Which is not fun, but it is what it is. Let me go ahead and find it in this list here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and raid over to Bila. And go ahead and say hi. Yeah. I do appreciate y'all popping in today, and I was really happy to show y'all what I've been working on. If you are subscribed, you do have access to the duck raid emote. Yeah, I appreciate y'all for popping in. I really do. And if you aren't part of the Duck's Nest Discord already, I do recommend joining. That is where I post all of my updates as well as when I'm going to stream. And I actually want to try to get back to streaming at least once a week. Ideally 2 if I can. And definitely doing a lot more art in live 2D because I have some stuff I want to get done and show y'all. Because I've had some really interesting ideas lately. Yeah. I will see you over on the other side.